will we hear any more from Giuliani? Or legally speaking, isn't this his last straw? I mean, you filed for bankruptcy in terms of getting out of this particular $150 million judgment. No more subterfuge. He can't waste any more time. He's not in court. He can't withhold information. He's no longer in court. Bankruptcy judge said, no, you're going to go forward. Is this the end of the road in terms of excuses and what he and his attorneys can do to get out of this?
I think that depends on, a number of things, primarily what happens with his criminal cases. But kind of to answer your question, what I would think the next step would be for Giuliani would be to start squealing like a canary. I mean, singing like a canary. I think what makes sense at this point is he needs to cut his losses, because clearly Donald Trump is not coming to his rescue, right? So he needs to start dropping a dime. Let me tell y'all everything this man done. I was there at the table. I watched it happen. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. And I don't know if that is because he's holding out hope that he's going to be saved by Mr. Trump. And I don't even mean him being reelected. I mean just his machine coming to his rescue. But that's the problem with people like this. You get tied to somebody as depraved as Donald Trump, and you get what's coming to you. And Giuliani, I don't know if this is the end of the road as it relates to his legal issues, but I do know that it looks like him and a lot of these other people close to Trump have a lot of baggage related to what they did to stay close to Trump. So I think he's going to be cooked on the criminal cases. I mean, obviously, I don't know any of the evidence, but if they've charged him with a conspiracy, I would not be surprised if we didn't find a lot of information where Giuliani was intimately involved in the conspiracy that they're charged with. And I think the end of the road will be so.
I think that's a really amazing point. Michael, what do you think about Rudy Giuliani saying, you know what, it's time for me to sing like a canary. I got a good tune for you.
Well, yeah, I always thought he was going to cut a deal because Rudy doesn't want to go to prison. He's put a lot of people in prison when he was a U.S. attorney. And I could tell Rudy's a punk. He can't fight either. I could tell you that right now. He can't fight. So he doesn't want to go to prison.
You know this for sure, huh, Michael?
What'd you say?
I said, you know this for sure, huh?
Yeah, he's a punk. He can't fight. Gangster Denzel Washington, he said the loudest one in the room is the weakest one. Donald Trump is a punk also. He can't fight either. I'm telling you right now, he can't fight. So they don't want to go to prison. Donald Trump is trying to do everything he can to stay out of prison. Now he'll market his mugshot. He'll sell that. Donald Trump does not want to go to prison. Okay, neither does Rudy Giuliani. So he'll probably try to cut a deal. I think he may be trying to hold out hope that Trump will get reelected and try to give him some type of presidential pardon or something like that.
My next question, Michael.
Yeah. The other thing was, if I remember correctly, didn't he turn down a presidential pardon or something like that previously? Because the other criminals got presidential pardons. Roger Stone. You had people like Paul Manafort. You had some of the other thugs around Donald Trump. They got pardons. So we'll see what happens here. But yeah, Rudy does not want to go to prison. I'm telling you right now.
And so, yeah, Michael stole my thunder a little bit. Let me finish with you before we go to a break, Matt. It seems to me that maybe that's his last option, holding out a little bit of hope for, if I do get sentenced, I'm counting on Trump to get back into office and he'll take care of me. What do you think about that?
I think the bird in the hand is better than the one in the bush. Your hand is you have all the baggage. So if I'm representing Rudy Giuliani, I'm like, you don't know what's going to happen with this election. And moreover, your homeboy has not come to your defense. He has not pulled you out of this frying pan. So at this point, you need to tell these people what this man has done. And I say that jokingly, but I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know any of these people's relationships, but it doesn't seem like Trump is coming to his rescue, and it doesn't seem like the cavalry is coming for Rudy. So he needs to cut his losses and do what he can to tamp down his liability, because I think he's going to be in a prison cell.
All right. Certainly not the end of this story, but the end of the story here for now on Roland Martin Unfiltered. We're going to take a break. Stay with us.
On the next, A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie. People can't live with them, can't live without them. Our relationships often have more ups and downs than a boardwalk roller coaster, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Trust your gut. Whenever your gut is like, this isn't healthy, this isn't right, I don't like the way that I'm being treated, this goes for males and females. Trust your gut, and then whenever that gut feeling comes, have a conversation.
Knowing how to grow or when to go. A step-by-step guide on the next A Balanced Life on Black Star Network.
When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people power movement.
A lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover ours. So please support us in what we do, folks. We're going to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month. Wait to $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Your money makes this possible. Check some money order. Go to PO Box 50196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is roland@rolandsmartin.com.
Hello, I'm Paula J. Parker, truly proud of the Proud Family, louder and prouder on Disney Plus. And you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Tamia Clay has been missing from her Hammond, Louisiana home since March 13, 2024. The 15-year-old is 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighs 187 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. And anyone with information about Tamia Clay should call the Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office at 985-748-8147. All right. Florida A&M University will be searching for a new president. Today, President Dr. Larry Robinson announced that he will step down from his position as president, which he has held for just under 7 years. His exact departure date will be determined once the Board of Trustees meets. The university said Dr. Robinson plans to return to his FAMU School of the Environment professor role before being named FAMU's 12th president on November 30th, 2017. Now, Robinson's announcement comes months after we saw the now ceased $237 million donation from Texas hemp farmer Gregory Jerami, which made national headlines and is currently under investigation. Poor licensure program performances also heightened concerns from the Florida Board of Governors. We look at this, Matt, and I don't think that this is a very big surprise, but it also seems as though there's something behind the scenes we don't know about quite yet.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm frankly surprised he stayed on as long after that debacle as he did. Jarrell Blakely, who broke the story, is a friend of mine from college, brilliant brother. And I'm glad he did the work that he did, because this is the kind of thing that shows, institutional failure, especially from the president and the C-suite executives who saw a very big dollar sign and didn't do just basic due diligence to check it. And FAMU is a fantastic university, so it's really sad that their brand has been sullied by this. But I'm sure there's a lot going on behind the scenes. There may have been some deals cut. He's obviously staying on the faculty, but I hope that their next leader and their next group of leadership is able to shepherd the university going forward and continue making some of the strides that they've made. But that is a huge black eye on that campus. It's just extraordinary that happened, because it was so easily disproven had they done very basic work.
Yeah. Michael, what do you think is going on here? Do you think what is going on is what we are actually seeing, and that this president who will be stepping down, it was on his own volition? He made the decision, and that it all worked according to how we are reading?
Yeah, I don't have direct evidence that it was because of the over $200 million fake donation from the hemp entrepreneur, but it seems like that if that wasn't the primary reason, it probably played into whole calculation, because I felt that there were going to be some people resigning or getting fired behind that, because one of the things that it did, even though in the beginning, you know, we want to believe stories about African American entrepreneurs that give back and give to HBCUs, but when nobody had ever heard of this guy, when they're going back and forth over, okay, the stocks have already been given, things like this, but who gave value to the stocks? That makes any institution the laughing stock of education. Not to do a play on words, but it's just embarrassing. It's like, wait a second, nobody from your school of business like did any research on this guy? It's just embarrassing. So yeah, we'll see what the real reasons behind this are, but you know, it was just sad to see how everything turned out also behind this. Because I know budgets were made and plans were made to spend that money, right? And now you have to recalibrate because you find out that, you know, you were given like monopoly money.
And process-wise, I mean, yes, we look at Dr. Robinson, someone who, as the president, was a final word in many situations, but process-wise, Matt, a lot of people were involved in this along the way. I'm actually surprised that, as you said, it took this long, and I'm surprised that other people somewhere along the way also didn't get fired or removed or decided to voluntarily step away.
Yeah, I'm with you completely, particularly because, you know, most universities have developmental teams or foundations or endowment team, right? People who go out and get money, who get donations for the university. So I don't understand how it went through presumably multiple levels of contact with this guy who seems to be just a straight up fraud based on what I've seen reported. And nobody got wind of that, particularly because $237 million is an astronomical amount of money, and it's an astronomical amount of money compared to a lot of HBCUs endowments. So, you know, for it to be meted out over a number of years, it seems like this is the kind of thing you truly want to vet. If we were talking about a purported $50,000 gift, this would be a completely different conversation, but you're talking, you know, institution changing money, and I don't know how they didn't do the very basics to determine that this was not a real pot of gold.
All right, and let's think about this. I want all three of us to think about this for a moment, especially starting with you, Matt, your legal background. It seems as though this particular pledge is somewhat fraudulent, that there would be something that would happen legally to come down on all of the havoc he caused, knowing that he was not holding himself out to be who he said he was.
Yeah, I've thought about that, and I don't know that I've really come to any conclusion on exactly what he could be charged with. But, you know, there are a lot of state level criminal and civil charges essentially for fraud. And I would think that this is fraud not only to what he represented to the university, but whatever, kind of to Michael's point about how the university planned to use the money, anything that they did in reliance. So if they spent any money setting anything up or, you know, otherwise expending monies, expecting to get money from him, then I think that, you know, he should be liable for that, whether it be criminally or civilly. But this is definitely fraudulent, and I'm sure that people looking at it might find ways both on the state and federal end to prosecute him, because I'm assuming there would be some fraudulent documents involved, maybe fraudulent transfers. I'm not sure what that would show, but seems to me, you know, he represented something that wasn't true, and that should be actionable.
Michael, your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think it was definitely fraud involved, and you know, once again, you have to do some vetting. You know, Roland did a number of segments dealing with this, and it was really good, because it's like, okay, so nobody from the city where FAMU is, nobody had heard of this guy. Nobody heard of this guy in the city where he was in. Let's Google this guy's name. Let's research his operation. Let's go visit his operation. You know, let's go visit. Let's see how many employees he has. Things like that. He said he had thousands of contracted employees, etc. You know, you remember on Saturday Night Live they had that skit. Yeah, that's the ticket. They got it live all the time, and he said, "Yeah, that's the ticket." The more more you heard about it, the more lies you heard. Okay, thousands of contracted employees. Okay, this guy's like in his 30s, and not. So yeah, we want it. You know, I used to read Black Enterprise every month. Yeah, we want to celebrate successful African American entrepreneurs, but it's like, hold on, wait a second, something's wrong about this story. So, and the more we heard about it, the worse it got. That's the part about it. The more we heard about it, the worse it got. But yeah, I think there's definitely some fraud involved in this, and I don't know if there are possible legal charges behind this as well. I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah. You know, Matt, what I'm thinking is that Dr. Robinson, at least he wasn't fired because, again, I think that when we look at this whole process, that there were a lot of people involved and it all shouldn't have fallen on him. And he's going back to the classroom, it seems like, or some other capacity, but he is in fact staying with FAMU, and I think that was fair.
Well, heavy is the head that wears the crown. What happens when the team isn't losing? It is not winning. The coach gets fired. That's how it works. And you know, the buck stops with him ultimately. Now, granted, I have no idea what evidence was presented to him or not presented to him, but I think your point is well taken. There may be other people who are not in these positions anymore, and frankly, they shouldn't be, because this is public money. It's a public university, right? So everything that the school does should be in support of the public, and the public trust is an indispensable part of public service. So once you lose that public trust, you no longer have that capacity to do public service. But he'll continue teaching, and hopefully FAMU will have a new leader that can root out very basic, obvious things like you're not getting $237 million from a dude with no real employees selling him somewhere in Texas. Like, that's not happening. And hopefully the next people can figure that out.
Yeah. All right. As we go to break, let's also hope that those alumni, that they're contributing a little bit more in light of all of this, because as Michael has said, a real letdown, especially if this money was already promised in certain places throughout the university. All right. You are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered here on the Black Star Network. Stay with us. We'll be back after the break.
Coming soon to the Black Star Network. I still have my NFL contract in my house. Having a case. It's my 4-year contract. I got a $600,000 signing bonus. My base salary for that first year was $150,000. Matter of fact, $150,000. That's what I made. $150,000. Now think about it. My signing bonus was a forgivable loan, supposedly. When I got traded to the Colts, they made me pay back my signing bonus to them. I had to give them their $600,000 back.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so pissed. Because, I try to be a man of my word. I'm like, I'll give you your money back. Even though I know I earned that money,
right.
I gave them money back. I gave them the $600,000 back. But yet, I was this malcontent. I was a bad guy. I'm not about the money. It wasn't about the money. It was about doing right. Because I looked at, because you look at contract. Look at John Elway. John Elway was making $1 million. $800,000. I was making $150,000. I was doing everything. And I'm like, but yet I was, I got so many letters, so I just play for free and all that kind of stuff. You don't forget that kind of stuff.
Right.
That stuff is hurtful.
Me, Sherry Shepherd.
I wanted an opportunity to speak about life. I'm sitting here eating. Let me put this up here. I got some orange juice. I went to McDonald's. I got the breakfast, the big breakfast. Got some water. I ain't afraid of this motherfucker no more, man. I'm not afraid of none of this shit no more. I understand what's going on out here in this world. I do now. I finally get it. I finally get it. You know, I finally get it. I figured it out last night. I really did. I finally figured it out. It's not much to tell either. But I finally figured it out. Unfortunately, there's too many people on Earth to be able to have others mind their fucking business. That's the unfortunate part. Where you can be left alone to be able to live your life, knowing what you know. But I finally figured it out. Yep. Yeah. It's up to me to realize that I'm not going to be able to relax like I want to. Only strategize at all times. The wordplay is not necessary. There's nothing to learn from me. That you all haven't heard before. I always see a Jeep like this following me around. There's a white Jeep. There are some stalkers of mine right here in this black car. Right there, that's a bunch of stalkers of mine right there, watching me. Yep. I never did nothing to them, but for some reason they're triggered by me. I should have got me some ketchup. Possibility they could be sitting there making a video off of me. Finally get it, man. Mm-hmm. I got one worry. But I'm not gonna let that be a worry either. About some shit that might happen. I listened to Jason Black last night, right? He's fixated with Sierra and Russell Wilson's relationship. He's fixated on any high-end relationship. Really, he's waiting on their downfall so he can say, see, I told you so. I don't know what is making this man do it. I don't think that his ego will let him stop focusing on these people who only live once, as well as himself and us down here. Man, who cares how fine a fucking woman looks? Who gives a shit, man? There are women all over this earth that deal with issues with beauty, size, height, flawlessness, their insecurities, their worries, you know? Being, having problems with love, being sexually abused, being beat, being financially manipulated, just not living up to expectations of life. It's hard to manage this thing called money, man. Everybody is trying to fucking get you in a trap. But my thing is, Jason Black, the Black Authority, I listened to that shit. Just sat there and listened to him actually. If you listen to his last episode or upload of it just was about a little kid shooting his stepdaddy. And it was the mama's fault, if you will. And he started off that way, where it was the mother's fault, and the real boyfriend and the stepdaddy or whatever have to take responsibility of the situation. And they still love the little boy, but basically it's the mama's fault. So she got to be handled, she's gonna probably go to jail or something's gonna happen where the kid's taken, and of course they might have to raise the boy even though he shot him. Whatever. And then he ends up just going a whole different direction about which he's talked about many times. Sierra and Russell Wilson's relationship, how it might be destroyed because she's out here. She's on tour, I think, either by herself or with Missy Elliott or something, whomever. And Lala's involved. She might be out there getting some dick on the side. Who cares? Who gives a shit, man? Russell Wilson can get him some pussy if he wanted to, but all of it never made no sense to me. It just never, I don't understand. It's like he's waiting on their downfall. All these relationships out here have issues, business issues that are not brought to the public. They're trying to get the product out there behind closed doors. It's a lot of bullshit. When you go home at night and you mount up, if you have a real family, because it seems to me like he don't have no family or no life. He wants to be Mr. Perfect. I'm going to tell you all about you, and I'm perfect. I make movies. I'm a high-end producer. I got money. I speak real well. There's not a fucking thing you can tell me, and I live this life, and you all are nobodies. You don't even know nothing, nigga. You don't know nothing. You should be lucky I'm talking to you. You know, I've been listening to this guy for years. And I really appreciate how he can come up with so much shit so fast. But I come to realize that even with him, Professor Black True, Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Claude Anderson, Vicky Dillard, all these in black media now who are criticizing Roland Martin, and all the other people that are out here that's trying to get reparations for black people, they really ain't saying shit. They just selling shit. That's all. And trying to make you have low self-esteem while they communicating with you. Like you got, they're gonna walk through your life, tear you down. I mean, of course you have to be intelligent to do that, you know. Have a personality and a sense of humor. But at the end of the day, bro, we only live one fucking life. Fuck white supremacy. Fuck racism. But you all as content creators, and you look nice and you got your shit together, I appreciate that. But you ain't gonna make me think, or anybody else that I see out here in life think that we don't matter. Like, if we're not where you're at, we don't matter. The ultimate goal is to prove yourself to be what they are on the level they are. Nah, nigga, fuck all of y'all at the end of the day. You and your companies, and you as a person, you trying to make me think I'm not good enough to live this life. Because I ain't on any level. You all can literally suck my dick. And you can give that to anybody you want to. Because you can go up and you can fall down. You all are not God. You all are not You're nothing, man, without being locked in like we are. We're on a certain level. I keep telling people after you make $50,000 or $60,000 a year, bitch, nigga, you giving the money back. What more is it to it? You either poor or you reach a certain social level. You make money, you who talk this shit every day on YouTube and all these social media platforms, make money every day off the people who you communicate with. We listening to your ass. And if you don't, something wrong with you. So why dog us out for our struggles when this is only natural? Unless you're a sociopath or psychopath, you're going to deal with dynamics. Anybody will that come with dealing with people and family. Just associates at work and family. Nobody's exempt from that. And this competitive spirit, this imagery, and with your health, with your mind, all of that takes a toll on you, what you eat, all of it. You can communicate just like I am right now. You fucking people who think your ideology or your mindset or your ego, or just because you got in where you fit in, you're not better than us that's living life too. Fuck you. I'm not gonna sit there and think how it should be. Like you're not gonna make me think I'm stupid. I'm not impressed, y'all. I swear to God, I'm not impressed. You don't impress me. I can see you in person and tell you, I don't give a fuck what kind of car you drive, how much money you have on you. What you know don't even impress me, because it don't make no sense what you said. That's not just, I hear this over and over, dogging people, man. That's all y'all do. Tear people down. That's it. You ain't building nobody up. You ain't getting no closer to black people having reparations. You're not. The Da Vinci Code, or whatever code it is, for black people to get reparations is just cut the check. This is about as simple as it gets. It's no miraculous. It's nothing, bro. It's fucking nothing. America can give all black people or descendants of slavery money if they wanted to. They obviously don't want to. Race baiting, I don't even know, I don't understand what that term really is all about, but I don't know what it's about. Self-preservation is the most important. Look out for your motherfucking self. That's what it is. And you don't have to be selfish to do that. I'm eating. I got food in my mouth, of course. I'm eating. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I love smoking and drinking, but I choose not to. I think I'm very intelligent, but I can get around groups of people who's way smarter than me. And I get a little bit jealous because I don't know how to acquire and maintain that. I'm with mathematics. I can go at least so far. I used to be jealous seeing people do trigonometry and algebra and geometry, calculus. I don't know, all them fucking big math. I've never used none of that in real life. I've been living all my goddamn life, and nothing I learned in high school or college do I really use in real life. I have a high school diploma from Ohio, middle school in Ohio, all my education came from Ohio, Virginia, and New York. Okay, so East Coast. That's where my collegiate experience, all, high school and elementary, Union in Toledo, Ohio. Virginia is where I got my bachelor's degree in psychology. And I went to grad school in Virginia, School of Social Work. I worked all over the place, man. I've been in Hollywood and everything. Worked on movies, sets. Been all in Chicago. I've been everywhere. All the cities in America, the ghettos. Niggas are niggas. There's nothing that's gonna change about that. All you gotta do is go somewhere, grab me a 40 ounce. This is what I used to do. A 40 ounce back in my day. Either a 40 ounce of beer, a 6-pack of beer, and some cigarettes or some weed or whatever. Whatever I wanted to, and just stand there on the corner or go wherever I wanted to. And I fit right in with the other niggas. And we had a good time. Go get me some chicken, get my hair cut, whatever. Go shopping, go riding around, talk to the bitches, and live my life in the black community. Never had no problems. Every now and then it's just usual. You get in a fight or you talk shit or somebody. But when I met that white man, like I was raised by white folks, so I know. But when I ran into that white man, his kind of playing is the type of playing that you do not want to fuck with. A lot of y'all buck down and y'all give it up in whatever kind of way you want to, or it requires. still to this day. All about race, all about classism. Right now, I'm just another nigga talking while all these people see his truck right here. That's undercover. He keep riding around. He might be undercover police. Uh-huh. Right there. That gray one. Maybe not, maybe so. But that's how they roll. Anyway. I had to turn that shit off. I said, man, fuck that. He trying to make people think. Which I'm not talking bad about him. He can always come see me. I'm gonna tell him the same thing. Just because you don't have no children and you out here and you able to move through these, you're doing the same thing I'm doing. Sitting back looking at social engineering. Social engineering, that's what it is. The movement of people judging, criticizing, and being analytical about how they live their lives. Every day, people have issues and problems that seem like the world's going to come to an end. But in a 24-hour period of time, they do the same bullshit over and over, all day long. Live on the edge, as close to the edge without jumping, with no parachute. I was triggered by this story about how this bitch threw her life away. Just threw her life away over going to the fast food restaurant. Getting in an argument with a woman that works there over some sort of food. The lady comes outside. I think the girl left and came back. She got purple hair. Y'all know about the story. And she killed this woman over whatever argument it was. She just threw her life away. Excuse me. God dog, man. Sinuses. She just threw her fucking life away over a disagreement. I had a certain situation happen to me like that where I blanked out. Everybody can run into that, where you crash out, or your mind just leaves you. Your reasoning just fails you, and you instantly just lose it. You don't want to go there. You better hope somebody's around you to help you. I've never seen nobody park like that before. Oh, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I'm not bothered by y'all no more, man. I really am not. Now I know what I need to do. But yeah, some dude tried to put some shit on my windows. I don't know what he called himself doing, but I do remember that. But it happened so fast. And I thought this was a state where you allowed to carry. And what does carry mean? And how do you utilize being able to carry and protect yourself You're never in the right until you go to court and they figure it out. It depends on how the judge feels that day. So I don't even know why we carry firearms. I really don't. Are we allowed to protect ourselves with these firearms? Because I felt like if somebody comes up to me and violates me, and I tell them to leave me alone. Same thing with paparazzi, with the cell phone in your face that stars deal with. Y'all know what I'm talking about, you already know about. But us as regular people don't need to be walking around with no fucking bodyguards. So if you tell me I have the right to purchase a firearm, and then I don't want to physically fight somebody that looks bigger than I am, or whatever, it might be a group. What the fuck did I go through all this shit to buy this firearm, have the bullets appropriately, have it with me, store it the correct way while I'm riding with it, or it's at home to deal with in emergency situations? Am I doing the right thing? What type of bullshit is that? I say this dude right here that's walking right now comes up on me and tries to do something to me. I gotta worry about not killing him and he might try to kill me? All of it don't make no sense to me. Y'all might say I'm all over the place. I don't know who's listening, but I'm not all over the place. I'm telling you, man, all of it's fuckery and trickery, and it just don't make no sense. It just don't. We can go all day pointing out examples in the everyday struggle about what goes on out here in life every single day. I think this is the last thing I have to say about people who lived here before we did. I got other stories, but I don't want to talk about them right now. People lived here before we did. Lived this life. And they went through the same things of trying to find reasoning in their history or their legacy with trying to financially stay stable. Look, OJ's dead, okay? So if you can't identify with nothing, he was a household name. And when I say you can't identify with nothing, I mean some people are so fucking delusional that they're in a fairy tale world and nobody can't tell them nothing to do. They never take a break to look in the mirror to see who they really are. They have no life coach. They care about nothing in life. They run at 100 miles and running and nobody can't tell them shit until some sort of major issue happens. And that's what he was talking about as well. Oh man, you got a daughter running around in life out here. And if you don't have an attachment with that daughter, it's going to be an issue in the long run where she might not. Dude, everything that he talked about in that entire video was sense of worry. Sense of nonsense worry. All the way to a woman talking about her stay in America, her marriage, what she felt about abortion, what she... Man, listen, bruh. Every subject, every word, every cross your T's, dot your I's, everything is all about some shit that you... in case some shit happens. Unappealing, imagery, likability. It ain't stressing me out no more, man. None of this shit is stressing me out. Stay away from these fucking human beings, man. Crazy as shit. Once you get around them, they try to make you emasculated, marginalize you. It's like you're under their spell. You're underutilized. You're treated like shit just to be a part of their group. And you're programmed. You're reprogrammed and you're programmed. It's over fucking rated. This life is overrated. It really fucking truly is. Mind you, there are some nice experiences. Now we're talking about two elder statesmen, Trump and Biden, and their motor skills and their ability to run this country. I told you I'm all over the place, but it all adds up. Are you fit to do the job? Are you qualified to do the job? That's what people want to know at the end of the day. Can you be the puppet for the real billionaires? So the rest of us can function knowing what we know. I really was hungry. I should have waited. I should have ate first and then uploaded. I don't know about I don't know who's gonna win this race. I know it's just like if I keep tapping in and going down that rabbit hole, I'll listen to it just like y'all and watch it play out. Of course, I truly believe Biden should step out the race. Trump should not be allowed to run the race. To the average human being on earth, neither one of them are fit to be presidential. No matter if it's for what's being, their life work and how they've done wrong and they should be punished. And they keep getting an opportunity to be excused for the wrongs they've done being a president, because he should not be allowed to have immunity. It's been like, okay, you can have immunity, but nah, bro, you financially bankrupt everything you've ever done. You have disrespected your wife, and you disrespect women, and you talk about molestation with your own daughter. You'll associate with any and everybody, and you'll throw everybody under the bus. This is Trump I'm talking about. He is just a regular con man. That's all he is and will ever be to the end of time. He's just a sidekick of Johnny Carson. He used to have a late show called Johnny Carson. Go Google it and look at it. He stole his whole act. He stole his whole act. I'm not gonna upload this shit. I'm gonna throw this shit out because my sinuses, I know ain't nobody gonna listen to this anyways. I'm just talking to be talking. But yeah, if you look at Biden's past, he's a fucking racist. And behind closed door, boy, they cuss a lot. They do illegal and shady things. They don't play by the book. Because really, you can't get shit done if you did. I did what I was supposed to do. Now it's time for me to continue to do what I'm supposed to do. It just, at some point, it just snaps. It's like, okay, I get it. And that's where I'm at. I get it. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to do. for this age appropriateness, get myself to survive in these trying times. That one little video that he did last night's not triggering me. It just makes me like, man, I could turn this shit on or I could turn it off. I'm gonna sit there and listen to that bullshit. I really am not. Because if you listen to it, it contradicts itself. The whole situation does. You don't need no big words. You don't need to be no big brain. It's just like a nigga sitting and waiting on people's downfall. Sierra and Russell Wilson, you waiting on their downfall. In the black community, I always try to find out who's the realest. Thug shit, you know. You ain't no real black person. You ain't no real man. You ain't never been through nothing. Because you were brought up in the suburbs. You ain't never lived in the hood. You ain't never went to jail. You ain't never really went through no poverty. What the fuck do you want from a nigga, man? Damn, if you raised up in good environments, what's wrong with that? If you raised like a fucking animal and you made to be successful, what's wrong with that? If you are a person who raised in success and had everything and you don't have it, your parents did it, and you ended up in poverty. Now, I mean, that's unfortunate, but you still gotta live your life. Why y'all worrying about what happens with people in their life so much that you have to continue to try to badger them? I guess it's the only way to play the game. Keep people coming back to your platform, having something to talk about, because you ain't talking about shit. If your platform, 100% or not, or some shit, why we haven't got reparations? Systematically set up for us to fail as black people. You're not black all day long. Who are you born? You're a tether. You're a gatekeeper. Same old shit all fucking day long. Oh, but go check out my movie. Go listen to my book. Oh yeah, I got an art museum. What's cool? Well, we're gonna have comedy shows there. We got a march. What did that march do? Where's the money that was how you say, that was collected? Where's that at? All these people who talk and ain't shit happen. I remember I used to listen to Dick Gregory, and we're still living, and he's passed away. And we still sitting here not getting no reparations. And they just gave billions and billions and billions of dollars to the Ukrainian for that war. They got a bridge they building out there in the sea to get products over there in that war. And they stopped building it. What happened to all the weapons or in the military equipment that was left over in the Middle East? Billions and billions of dollars worth of equipment. All the things they built over there in the Middle East that went to waste. Money that was transferred. And I know 3 national disasters that happened, and they came up with, one was for Haiti, one was for Puerto Rico, and another one was from somewhere else. And where did all the money go to? They had money transferred over there to Saudi Arabia. Big truckloads were transferred over there to Saddam Hussein. You see the United States military sitting on stacks of fucking United States money, just sitting on it. They have nowhere to put the money at once they shipped it over there, because it didn't go where it needs to go. Real money, $100 bills in the millions upon millions. Truckloads of them were sent over there to pay a debt. It's just paper. All that product that's sent over there for those people in this war currently, and they can't get it over to the people. Same thing with the money. It always gets caught up in logistics. And year after year, where does it go? Just like the products that during the pandemic that just sat there and rotted away. The food, the products themselves, where's all that shit at? Cars, everything. Back orders. I'm telling you, I'm all over the place. But I'm telling you, what I'm trying to get at is that no matter if it's money, material things, even human trafficking, movement of people, point blank, for good and bad. It never, ever, ever, the problems are never, ever solved. It's just, another generation comes, another tribe leads. Because once white supremacy's out the way, you got, I believe the next group to step up will be Hispanics, will be running this world. Asians next. Nobody gives a shit about the African, the American, not the African American, not the Africans. We're not going with none of the names. How about the blacks? That's what they call us now. They went back to calling us blacks. The blacks. Can you fucking... Let me get off of here. The blacks? Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, oh God, here we go again. Look at this bullshit. Is there a trash can by me? Oh, he's dumping something. The blacks. Is that what we call now? I mean, they got the Rainbow Coalition. That's all the different types of homosexuality groups. They got power. Of course, they're associated with entertainment. That whole shit is dysfunctional. Whole bunch of people to do whatever they want to do with your body and ownership of you, just to be able to act. You gotta do more. You know, you have to put your morals to the side, your values, your principles, and basically you just gotta let your body become a unit that they can use anytime they want to, or you have to make a sacrifice with the Illuminati. Yep. You want to get involved in law enforcement, military? Man, you definitely have to be on the cold blue, or you gotta be, and they have a union. And of course, there's a structure with that whole shit all the way up to DOJ, all the way down to local foot cop. You gotta be quiet. Don't talk about nothing. Don't even speak to people unless they speak to you first. If you ain't called by dispatch, you should not say nothing to nobody about nothing. And I don't know, they don't get it. Some of these officers don't get it. Work should be, they don't get it though. This is, what I'm going to say right here is like touchy. Work should be left at work. But they always find a way to be an officer 24 hours a day. That's a police officer. 24 hours a day. They're always on duty. To get caught up in some shit. But that's catchy right there. It's really none of my business because I don't fuck with that situation at all. I'm just sitting here talking, man. A lot of y'all see me trying to be creative on this motherfucker. They already got me unlocked. They will never let me rise up. The YouTube the people at YouTube headquarters, they will never let me ride up. None. I went yesterday and walked through observing. Already had it planned in my mind what I was going to say. And I'm just speaking from my mind. Most of the time, it could go viral one way or another. But I did things and said things that would touch upon any race or group of people, as well as reviewed their little food, if you will. And as I left and was driving home, I got escorted by the police. I wonder how that happens. They never bothered me, but they let me know that if an issue would have happened, they would have been right on it. Which I'm not bothered by that. Because I'm not no criminal. I don't have no reason to. I'm sitting right here right now and I could be going to work for anybody right now. Making money for myself. Because we live in America. I know plenty of people who need rides to work. I know plenty of people who need products to be moved. We will get to that at some point. But I'm not going to sit around and have no low self-esteem for no fucking body. So I might have to stop listening to Jason Black, Tariq Nasheed, Vicky Dillard, Dr. Claude Anderson, and Dr. Boyce Watkins, and maybe Roland Martin. I might have to stop listening to them. Because that little bullshit that's happening over there in California, that's not even a drop in the bucket of what we need that can happen right now, right away. If it was on the agenda politically that the United States government could give foundational Black Americans reparations, that shit could be done overnight, instantly. You don't have to do nothing but put it in our accounts. Even if you don't do it, they can find you. They can find a motherfucker who did mass crime out of all the hiding places on earth. They can find your ass and give you what's owed to you. Here, Mr. So-and-so, here's your check. 1.2 whatever, $1 million or more. Tax free. Don't worry about ever paying it back. And you get land that cannot be taken away from you, commandeered. if you choose to. I don't know how that will be distributed because people live all over the place. Unless you're going to have designated states you go live in, you just pick what you want. Now that would be difficult. How you get your property? I guess you give them a voucher, right? That never runs out. I don't know. That part right there would be kind of like, we're dealing with the basis of a 40 acres and a mule. Back in the day, they used to say that. But yeah, that falls on deaf ears because a lot of people out here feel like we don't deserve it or we don't need it. Well, what do we need that for? Go to work, nigga. Go to work. Black ass motherfucker. Go to work. Negroes. They always got racial always got a racial aspect to it at the end. You're just a lazy black whatever. Especially the uppity ones. Or the ones that feel like master's done enough for them. Oh, yes, sir, master. Yes, sir, master. Yes, sir, boss. Well, you want to go shoot them away or you... Yeah, get them blacks out of here. Get them blacks out of here. Hey, Rowdy, get them out of here. Okay, boss. Yes, sir. They'll do it. Not for the boss. They'll just do it because they don't know no better. It ain't nothing to it, bro. It's overrated. All the shit's overrated. It's all overrated. Overexposure, overrated, just like. Well, anyways, that was okay. Something to put on my stomach. Pretty soon we won't be using no fucking gas cars. We'll be using electric cars. Who come up with this idea? They sent that spaceship up there and the satellites, a lot of them didn't do the right thing. Now they up in space wasting all them millions and millions and millions of dollars. Oh my God. That's gotta be very disappointing. Some of them worked in that space launch. Some of them didn't work. I guess they just float off in the abyss. I don't know. It's fucked up. But it's just like, hey, what do you gotta bring it back to reality about, you can wander off, you can talk in all kinds of directions. I'm trying to wander off in your thinking. You can talk in all kinds of different directions. And you can listen and be influenced by others. But what is it really that you, with your time on earth, what are you doing with yourself? That's what matters. not what somebody's telling you you should be. All up to the stage and coming out your front door every day and being, I guess, what they call, oh, he's pissing behind the trash can or what? Well, anyways, let me mind my business. Excellence. You being the excellence, the best you can be, whatever. You're going out here to represent the world in the Olympics of life every day. You gotta look and play the part, and other niggas gonna tell you when you ain't doing right and how you look. We the hardest on each other, the blacks. The blacks. I'm not driving for you all for shit. You ain't paying me enough. $15. Nope. I'm not driving for y'all. Tractor supplies, $15. Fuck no. What's this? What's the other reason? Whatever. See what we got.
Sammy Roman. I'm Dr. Robin B., pharmacist and fitness coach, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, the West Virginia police chief responsible for the hiring of a former Cleveland officer who fatally shot 12-year-old Tamir Rice in 2014 has stepped down. White Sulphur Springs Police Chief D.S. Tubert returned to his former patrolman position and recommended hiring Timothy Lohman as a probationary officer. Lohman resigned from the White Sulphur Springs police force last week. It was the third time in 6 years that Lohman left a small police department due to a backlash shortly after he had been hired. Tamir was playing with a pellet gun outside of Cleveland, Ohio Recreation Center on November 22nd, 2014, when he was shot and killed by Lohman seconds after Lohman and his partner arrived. Michael, I want to pass this over to you. The stepping down, what do you make of that?
Well, from my understanding of this, the police chief when you look at the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, one of the things it would have done if Senator Tim Scott had not blocked it in the Senate, one of the things it would have done was create a national database for police officers and prevent police officers who get fired from one police department just to go to another, rightfully fired from a police department for infractions, killing people unjustly, things like this, rightfully fired, to keep them from just going to another police department in a nearby city, getting a job there, and possibly doing the same thing. And this was one of the criticisms against this officer when he went and got hired by other by another police department. So Timothy Lohman. So I think the criticism is just here, and just the whole case dealing with Tamir Rice was tragic, because when you go look at that footage, and Attorney Benjamin Crump talked about this, the police car had not even come to a full stop before Officer Timothy Lohman started shooting Tamir Rice. It was about 1.8 seconds, if I remember correctly. Within 1.8 seconds of that car arriving, shots rang out. Yeah. So, this whole thing is once again a tragic situation.
Yeah, and Matt, it just seems as though there was a lot of shifting that went unnoticed in terms of the hiring and the fact that there were always problems that followed this man each time he moved.
Yeah, and as always, you and Michael hit the nail on the head. You know what I hate about this case in particular is that it's dishonest. And I mean that to say, you know, what they always do is come out and say, I didn't know it was going to cause this fear and all that stuff. But if you look at what this police chief actually said, is he said, doesn't this guy get another opportunity? You know, what opportunity does a cop have if they shoot someone? Should they never be a cop again? Yeah, they should never be a cop again. You know, most cops go through their careers never shooting anybody, number one. And number two, you don't have a right to be a police officer. You don't have a right to do that job. That's a job that has a lot of power and a lot of authority, and therefore we need to make sure the right people do it. So the idea that he hired this person and did not know the backlash that it would cause and did not just exercise the good discretion is the truth of it. But I thought his statement was a little disingenuous, and you know, that is a big issue. Not only cops leaving Department A to go to Department B after something bad happens, but what a lot of people don't realize is a lot of times the police unions are so strong that they get back pay. I've read some crazy situations that police officers have committed crimes, done other things, and got back pay from the department because of the collective bargaining agreement. So I think there are a number of different things institutionally that need to be changed to ensure they're not getting hired someone else and are also not getting compensated in the event they've done something egregious.
Yeah, and Michael, let's think about it. It takes longer to get a cosmetology license in the United States than it does for the training to become a police officer. We talk about training often, what it can and cannot do in terms of what a police officer, should learn in their learning curve. But I think that part of the tragedy here is that we are hearing the same story over and over again. We talked about it just being with regular security guards that weren't police officers at the Hyatt Regency in Wisconsin, but it's the exact same story, and nobody seems to be able to get right any of the training or change it to a point where it makes a marketable difference.
One of the problems is that there are no nationwide standards for police training. You have approximately 18,500 police departments across the country, 800,000 law enforcement officers. You don't have nationwide standards for police training, number one. And the police training police academy, somewhere between 8 to 12 weeks, some cities, municipalities, it may be a little less than 8 weeks. But the other thing is not only do you need some type of nationwide standards for policing, de-escalation tactics as well, understanding use of force, understanding how to engage with people who have mental illnesses. But the other thing is that you have to have ongoing training. Now, when you talk about ongoing training costs money. Ongoing training is not free. You have to have ongoing training in basically every other profession, whether it's education. For teachers, they have professional development like every year. When you talk about doctors, they have ongoing training that they have to go through. Basically, every other profession has some type of ongoing training once a year, once every 2 years. So we can't say, well, when police officers need ongoing training and it costs money, a lot of times there's people pull back from that. Yes, they do need ongoing training, just like every other profession.
That's right. Listen, Matt, continuing legal education credits sound familiar?
Yeah, they do. And I think Michael's right to an extent, but I want to push back on that because I don't think it's about training. It's about a lack of disincentives to do certain things. I look at police officers' training ledgers all the time. Many of them have thousands of hours of training. But it doesn't matter if you don't get in trouble for when you break the law or when you do something egregious to someone's rights. The problem is not the training. The problem is if they don't follow their training or they don't do something that is reasonable, they have a lot of immunities built in on the civil side. And then you have prosecutors who are disinclined to charge them with crimes. How often are we on this show and you talk about a case and the first thing the lawyer says is, we want this person criminally charged? There are not disincentives to acting against your training. And that's the real issue. Unless police officers are held accountable a lot more forcefully, then there's no disincentive to them doing bad things. And that's the crux of it. It's not training.
So that deals with enforcing policy as well within the police department. So yes, you need ongoing training. Yes, you need better training. I would argue you need national standards when it comes to police training. But also, as we talked about here on this show as well, this is why I said more African Americans are going to have to apply to these police departments. African Americans who have the right mindset, not the ones who allegedly beat Tyree Nichols to death. I'm not talking about those type, okay? I'm talking about those that have a guardian mentality. You're going to have more African Americans who apply to these police departments, who take these jobs and want to become the type of officers we say we want to see, but you also have to have enforcement of existing policies and new policies that will be put in place as well. So it's one thing to have policies on the books, but it's another thing to actually enforce the policy. So a lot of times you won't see policies actually enforced like they should be when people violate training. So it has to be a holistic approach to this. Okay, nationwide standards for policing is one that's really important. But the other thing is actually enforcing policies that are on the books.
And you know what, Matt, when we talk about enforcing policies, and we always talk about this on this show, it boils down to that democratic process too, or your civil engagement, your civic engagement in the process. What is going on in your town in terms of the police? What is going on in your state? Are you involved? Yes, we talk about getting out the right to vote and getting out to vote on a national level. But locally, people also need to be paying attention at what is going on in their own police stations, in their own counties, in those 18,500 counties that Michael's making reference to, so that you can make change or march where you need to or get involved where you need to in order to change it at local levels too.
Correct. And in your state house and in your city hall, the people, to Michael's point, who make the policies that are enforced or not enforced. And even that is a problem, right? Because, yesterday I got hired by somebody who was sexually assaulted in jail, the first time they'd ever been arrested. They make a call to the local sheriff's office, and the sheriff's office has one of its own investigate one of its other own. That doesn't make sense. As a matter of course, it should be a policy that you call a different law enforcement agency to come in and investigate. But there's so many little things that stack up to make it where there are immunities and it's impossible to hold people accountable. And to your point, we need to have greater awareness at our halls of government. But beyond that, we need to have a greater demand that those in the halls of government remove some of those institutional blocks that make it hard for people to seek justice in these circumstances. Colorado did it not long ago, removing qualified immunity. If other states did that, I think it would reform markedly a lot of the actions that you see from police officers, because that shield would not be there in the most egregious situations, and people would be getting justice.
Yes, go ahead.
I had a question for Matt.